just wanna let go. I ain't so low. Speaking on my arrow. But they don't know. Now you see the skin glow. Sweet like cocoa.
Hey everybody, it's Benji, better known as Moiciara, and today is another episode of Black Gay Stuff. And pretty much we're going to talk about like why is it so difficult for, excuse me guys, black people to accept, you know, gay relationships. But I wanted to talk about how it's difficult for them, how it's easier, I'm sorry, for them to accept a more heterosexual appearing gay couple than it is someone who's non-binary, trans, gender non-conforming, dating someone who's masculine. And I feel like our community has such a hard time with accepting that because I experienced it from my own people and from the gay community. And I feel like a lot of times they look at it like if a man wants to be with someone who appears to be feminine, outer appearance and inner appearance. I'm trying to catch my phone, y'all. Um, a lot of times they're like, okay, why won't you just date a woman? Versus being with someone who is giving the appearance of a woman versus just being with a woman. And I would say, how can I, like, personally for me, personally for me, I always was feminine from when I was young. Like, I can't speak for no one else, but I've always been feminine. And as I got older and I got comfortable in my skin, you know, I decided to get more into hair and nails and more feminine clothing or women's clothing or whatever. You know, now a lot of times they like to call the girls like me, you know, cross dressers or what's the other word? It's another word that I'm really not that fond of that I feel like they try to call us just because it's like a put down word or whatever. But, bitch, I'm me. I'm me. I've been me for a very long time and no one, and when I say no one, I mean nobody. Listen to me. This is a PSA moment right here. Nobody can change me. And I've dated, I've been in a lot of relationship with guys who were accepting, and I've been in relationship with guys who didn't. And a lot of times it's because they didn't know who they were. They wasn't accepting themselves. You know, they were struggling with their own identity, their own battles, or child, whatever they had going on in their own head that they wasn't telling me. So I had no choice but to continue to, you know, just do me and be me and stay fabulous like I always am. But in the real world, when you're dating someone that's a masculine that looks like me, and us going hand in hand and we out and about or whatever, like we're gonna get the stares, we're gonna get the looks or whatever, and it's to a whole different degree. I've had women look at me crazy. I've had men look at me crazy, and I've this isn't that video, so I don't want it to be like a bashing thing because I can't. It's a part of my life, so I can't make it just like that. But it does be like if you out with your man and y'all together, why are y'all concerned about my little gay ass and my man? Why? It makes no, child. I be trying to put two and two together, and it just never makes any sense. And what bothers me with that is because they look at like me being less than, you know, by me appearing to be feminine, that I'm less than, or because I'm not appearing to give off male energy, which consists of masculine energy, consists of dominant energy or whatever. But what what the what bothers me about that is because a lot of times, like, the girls that look like me, we're the strongest. We're, I'm not gonna say the most dominant, but we're the strongest, we're the most fiercest, we're the most aggressive people that you'll ever meet in life because we've had to overcome so many obstacles. So this, the hair, the makeup, and yeah, I'm a little oily, y'all. It's all right. Yeah, it's a little warm in Chicago today. It's a little warm, so I'm a little warm, and I don't have the AC on, honey, so make it do what it do. But no, like a lot of times, like my people are really the strongest. Like we had to endure so much more trauma on a whole different level. And baby, like I I can't go into those things because I don't want to. I'm not here to sing any sad songs, and I'm not trying to play the victim or anything like that. But what bothers me is when people focus on my outer appearance and me dating someone who appears to be masculine or straight or heterosexual appearing, and they have a problem with it. It troubles me because they feel the need to put that agenda out there in the air, like, oh well, if he's dating someone who is appearing to be a female, then why not just date a female or whatever? But it's not about that. It's about me being comfortable in my skin and knowing who I am. So at the end of the day, like, I'm not trying to be nothing else but me. And that's what struggles the people that have struggles with, as far as when they look at me, they're trying to understand me more so than accept me or whatever. And by doing that, you're creating a dilemma, a delusion, a story in your mind, instead of just like, oh, okay, do your thing, baby, and keep it moving. That's how I look at it. Because I don't think some degular women, and I know y'all have to, you be looking like, how is she with him? How he with her? Or whatever, vice versa, and you keep it moving because obviously that they're living their life, they're walking in their truth, they doing their thing. But when it comes to the flip side of things, when you see two heterosexual or straight appearing guys or whatever, it's like, okay, either they have a problem with them being gay, but they won't make it as much of like a issue because they're not appearing feminine, or they're not giving off like um I guess you can say like feminine energy, like how I'm giving it or whatever, because it's easier to digest. It's like, oh, he's gay. He just like men, he's like a little dick from time to time, and but he's still masculine. So it's okay. I can rock with him, and I can be out in public with him, and I can accept his lifestyle a little bit more because he's not putting me in any situations where I'm looking or I'm appearing to have people questioning and wondering or um affiliating or whatever. Like, y'all see it all the time on social media. I don't have to go into detail about who, what, when, where, how, why, but I wanted to talk about that only because I see it so much. I don't, and I mentioned this in another video dealing with the black gay stuff, about how you don't see a lot of my girls happily in relationships, in love, publicly. And I ran across something recently, and I was just so happy to see my girl, someone who um has transitioned or whatever, and she's living her life, living her truth with her man, out and open. And I love to see stuff like that, because child, like, you don't see it. How can I say long term, like. And I think I've been more, as I've gotten older, I've been more timid to even talk about relationships or put it out there, because like I said, a lot of times people, they be happy for you just to say, oh look, you found somebody, but they really not happy for you genuinely. They just happy because they felt like probably you wasn't gonna find nobody. It's like a backhand compliment, and I don't want that. Like, if it ain't sincere, it ain't genuine, if you really don't rock with me like 100%, I don't need it. I don't need it. And what I was saying is that I feel like in society it does create those barriers when it comes to us as black people just understanding or accepting. Because I mean, white folks go through it too, but I can't tell their story. That I I can't tell their story. but I just feel like with our people, like, we have a issue, or when it comes to allowing our people to be them. Like, it's okay if you the flamboyant girl, you the trans girl, you the gay boy that's doing the hair and the nails and the makeup and the wardrobe and all that stuff. Yes, girl, slay the house down, But when it comes to you living your truth and living your life, then it's like, ooh, it's a problem. And and that's, it's just like, gay people have this thing where mean, not gay people, but it seems like a lot of heterosexual people have this imagery of gay people where we have to be like the performers, we have to be the artists, we have to be the entertainment, we have to be all these things. And definitely when they see me, I've gotten asked so many times, do I do drag? Do I Vogue and all these things? And I'm like, no, I don't do any, like, this is my real life. Like, this isn't nothing crazy. Like, child, like, there's so many things that have happened to me in my life, me living in my truth the way I am now in front of you guys. Like, we're gonna break this down like per episode. But whew, like I said, my wheels is to turn and I get to thinking about this stuff. I be like, really? Like, did that really happen? And okay. Anyway, but no, I wanted to talk about that because I feel like a lot of times that creates all these concerns within our own community, is the fact that it's bad enough we can't love and support each other, in general. And then when it comes to the whole other layer of us being gay, or you're living your life, in some capacity that doesn't fit society's norms, it creates another issue. Like, y'all see it all the time with people always feeling like they have to address or talk about gay things or gay people. Like, y'all know, wasn't that last year when Lil Nas X kissed that man at the BC? Was it last year? Well, I feel like that was the year before last. Either way, but I remember it was such a big deal. They was like, oh my God, I can't believe BT allowed that. How dare Black Entertainment Star Power allow Lil Nas X kiss another man on TV? How dare he? And it's like, that's how I know that we're still like resisting. We don't want to accept the change in a positive light. Now, if it was two women up there kissing, they wouldn't have no issue with it. But by being two gay men or two men in general kissing, it was like, oh, how dare they? This is BC. They know better. They should do better. And it just creates this standstill that in 2023 that we're still in. And that's what goes into bringing up about how, like, it's easier for someone to accept someone that's more straight appearing. Like, y'all ain't hearing nothing about that. That stuff came and went, and it don't flatline, child. Like, just as fast as it was hot, fast as it's not. Because people have moved on. But when it comes to those concerns and those issues of people accepting gay people, it always is like this tennis match of where they have to feel like they don't want to feel like if they're doing something that's creating change, then they're doing something wrong. And because a lot of times people don't like change, they want to stay here in a box or whatever. And then constantly the world is changing, people changing, but we don't want to give that room in the acceptance of lifestyle, because it's been that way for as long as we all can remember. Like, there's been so many deaths and killings and shootings. Like, I think that was last winter. Was it last winter? I think last winter here in Chicago, a trans girl ended up missing. And of course, when they found that she was, she was dead or what have you. And it's things like that that constantly tells me, and it's a reminder here, living here in Chicago, that we have so far to go. So far to go. Like, it's no way that young lady should have been dead, but by her living in her truth, it creates a dilemma. It creates a problem. It creates concern. Like, I was at the grocery store last week, and the guys come walking up or whatever, and the guy, he like, oh, hell no. They love that. Like, oh, hell no. Like, that's supposed to be like the bird call, like, oh, that's a man. So I have to announce that that's a man so I can feel more secure in my manhood. Like, what are you doing that for? Like, I ain't studying you. I ain't in your face. I ain't looking at you. I don't want you. I ain't thinking about you. None of that. So it's like, why do that? But if I was giving off, heterosexual male, they probably would have never known. They probably would have never said. They wouldn't even been thinking about me. And that's why I'm saying, like, when obviously they don't know. They don't know. I'm sorry, y'all know I have a cat, and he's very interactive in my videos. So, child, bear with me, okay? But yes, a lot of times they wouldn't know. But when I see two gay men that appear more heterosexual, there's a decline in there being more of a issue with it. Like it's more accepting. Like, oh, okay, they're two men, so they're standing their truth because they're two men. So they're showcasing dominance, assertiveness, strength because they're appearing in masculine quote unquote energy or whatever, which at the end of the day it shouldn't matter. If I'm living my truth and living my life the way I am, it shouldn't matter. And it shouldn't matter if I'm masculine. I want that to be understood. Like I'm not trying to point the fingers at masculine gay men, and then there's us girls who are trans and feminine and non-binary. Like I want to be clear about that, but I do constantly see the acceptance and how it's different, and y'all know it is too. So we ain't even gotta try to play the oh wait up. No, no, no. Um, because I was thinking about this moment in P Valley with Uncle Clifford and Little Murder, and how of course, Little Murder wasn't out, or wasn't out at the time, and they had started this relationship or whatever, and then um, you had this other relationship where he was dealing with Little Murder. He was dealing with another guy, or had previously deal with another guy who was way opposite from Little Murder, and I was so glad that the directors put that in there. So a lot of times it's not so much it's not about the DL part. I don't want it to be that. But it's more so about how, like I just stated, like the straight appearance of two men, it made it way easier for them to just continue on with whatever was going on. But then you have Little Murder and you have Uncle Clifford, where people, I want to say no, I mean people knew, but they didn't know, until it was. I'm sorry, y'all. Until it was announced, like that's when they found out, like, oh, okay, this is a real thing, and Little Murder is professing his love for Uncle Clifford out loud, and like take me as I am, and that's all Uncle Clifford wanted. But it's so many black men that struggle with that only because of society. Not only because of society, but then it's like I said before, you have two heterosexual appearing men where it's way easier. There's no labels. It is DL in a sense, but it it's a slippery slope between being DL and living in your truth. They call it, what's the word? Discreet. I hate the word. I do not like that word discreet, because so many discreet men have hit me up claiming that they're not in the closet, but they're discreet. Get out of here with that. Anyway, but that's what it made it easier until, I mean, it wasn't, I want to say there wasn't a relationship, but they, like I said, they had a history or a past history or whatever. And when they had those moments together, it was easier to continue on versus if it would have happened with Uncle Clifford and Little Murder, I guess publicly or whatever. But yes, I just a lot of times I feel like our people struggle with that acceptance all together and separate. They will separate it, and due to people knowing how we separated within our own community, it makes it easier for them to accept it, because they're like, oh well, y'all like the gay people, but I don't like the ones that's gay, but I like them gay. Like they put that fine line between us, and then we allow it, and it keeps spreading and spreading and spreading. So I think it's a touchy subject for me, only because, like I said, I've lived it, I've walked it, I've been in those vulnerable places, in spaces with, a love of whatever, and things haven't been easy, or it was a rough situation, because he's loving me or he's with me out loud, and he's appearing in a masculine energy or masculine form or heterosexual form, whatever words y'all feel best suited for what I'm talking about. But yes, I just think as a whole we need to learn how to break down those barriers within our own community. When I say our own community, I mean the gay community, like the black gay community. Like we have to break those barriers within ourselves. So then when we see people that look like me, we don't just think that we're here for the drama, we're here for the tea, and we're here to make a scene, and we're going to be loud and carry on. Cause I don't do that. Can't nobody tell me that they know me to be that person. You know, I'm living my life, and it's not a show. And I'll tell anyone that, like, it's not a show. I'm walking in my truth. You know, I'm 34 years old. Like, this, it ain't changing. So all in all, I ran my mouth today. Whoo, child. So let's get into these comments. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your mama, your auntie, your grandma, your uncle, your baby daddy, your cousin, little brother, little sister, somebody, and let them know what I'm doing right here on this channel. Yes. I appreciate you guys so much. Please, if you haven't, check out the previous videos. I'm doing mukbangs again too, so I'm eating too, child. So yeah, I'm doing everything over here, and I'm gonna get back into doing some reviews. I haven't done no reviews. Oh, excuse me, I haven't done any reviews recently. For anything, because I'm a little behind on the show, so I can't, do the reviews. I kind of want to wait for the season to start, so then I could kind of like flesh on through it with you guys. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.